Okay, this one is a fun one. Fact is, nothing brings out the passion more than a conversation that revolves around politics. And that passion tends to lead to over talking, perhaps sometimes name calling, and what could amount to a scream fest. In fact, is this particular video is going to measure up to all of that. Now, President Trump is making the rounds. He just completed his first 100 days. Some would say his poll numbers are low. You talk to President Trump, it's been the most successful first 100 days of any president in history. So we'll leave that up to you to judge that. Nevertheless, Trump was on News Nation, took a few questions from the likes of Chris Cuomo, formerly of CNN, Stephen A. Smith from ESPN, and Bill O'Reilly, formerly of Fox News. Now, what makes this passionate is they brought on other guests like Steve Bannon and James Carville, and it got heated. But what drew the heat is the fact that Bill O'Reilly, a long-term friend of President Trump, he often states they've been friends for about 30 years. So Bill O'Reilly was able to talk Trump into taking questions. So Bill O'Reilly is kind of in a position where he has to defend folks who are saying things that may be critical of Trump. And James Carville, who was the strategist for the Bill Clinton administration, happens to be the guy that's doing that. So if you don't know James Carville, he is the one that kind of took the role of, say, Karl Rove during the Bush administration, or Kellyanne Conway of Trump's first administration, but he is before them. He is the strategist for the Bill Clinton administration. A big melee took place. I want you to see this because I'm going to ask a question, which is, when is it wrong to hold a politician accountable for what actually came out of their mouth? Check this out.
Is that he's picking on the right problem. I'm not talking about trade. In this country, the fastest growing socioeconomic group is billionaires. This was a middle class motivated country. I never liked that word. I think you should just say the majority. The imbalance is real, okay? It's felt by people. It makes them angry. What do you do about it if not what Trump is doing? So Trump, you don't like what he's doing. What would you do? Because the issue beats you.
It's an excellent question. The first thing I would do is I would not extend these billionaires' tax cuts, and I would not pay for them by clobbering the middle class and the lower middle class by cutting Medicaid expenses, of which
he said he wasn't going to cut Medicaid.
Go watch the budget that's been submitted. It's already got 600. He said he was going to end the war.
There's nothing about cutting Medicaid in the budget.
Did
this
he
is
say
just propaganda,
did
Jim.
he say I'm not? Did he say or not say I'm going to end the Ukraine war?
Bull, and you know it. No, you can't. You can't say it's in the budget. There's a Medicaid cut when there isn't.
Excuse me for thinking while you were interrupting me.
I am. This is ridiculous. And he does it every night.
Can I make a point?
Yes, go ahead.
He was going to end the Ukraine war on day one.
Oh, come on. It's absurd. What did Biden do for 4 years in there? Nothing. Drive me nuts.
He said he was going to end the Ukraine war.
Can't tell by your demeanor.
Please fact check me. Somebody look it up on your cell phone. Did Trump say I'm going to end the Ukraine war on day one?
And I was going to wear an LSU T-shirt, but I'm not now.
You don't have to.
Can I ask a quick question?
We'll get over it.
You got to fight to get into this.
I'm not going to fight.
You got to get in.
See what I mean about deflection? Now, he's all over that man like a cheap suit. Now, Bill O'Reilly has a right to disagree. That's how political conversations take place. But nevertheless, you see the deflection now. James Carville brings up that Trump talked about ending the war in an expeditious amount of time. I believe Trump said 24 hours or something like on day one. Is it wrong to hold Trump accountable for what he actually said? Now, Bill O'Reilly knows that Trump, as I stated before, is actually still watching this, or likely watching this exchange, because Trump called in the first 10 minutes or so of this live broadcast. So Bill O'Reilly's in a unique position of having to defend Trump. And you see he's all over James Carville like a cheap suit. And then when James Carville suggests that when he said he was going to end the war in 24 hours, you see how Bill O'Reilly goes ballistic. But like I said, I'm going to ask that question again. Is it wrong for the voters, for the constituency, to actually hold a politician accountable for what they actually promised? It's not like people misinterpreted Trump or took him out of context or they're just making it up. He did suggest he could end a war in such a short period of time. And Bill O'Reilly going apeshit about it. You hear the audience start to chuckle when James Carville asked the audience, did he not say he could do this? And Bill O'Reilly is forced to make up some kind of off-culture joke like I was going to wear an LSU shirt today, which is what James Carville is wearing, as if that meant something. But nevertheless, Trump did make that promise. Unless maybe American society, American voters have forgot.
If I were president, and I say this, I will end that war in one day. It'll take 24 hours. I know Zelensky well. I know Putin well. I would get that ended in a period of...
You can break that deal.
100%. It would be easy. That deal would be easy. A lot of it has to do with the money. A lot of it has to do with the military, that we're giving. But I would get that deal done within 24 hours. That war has to be stopped. That war is a disaster.
Final thought. Are you going to win next year?
I think we have a very good chance. The economy is not good. I'll make it good. Everyone knows. Everyone knows. Even Democrats, they say, well, we agree that Putin would have never gone in. He would have. I told him, you're not going in. Putin would have never gone into Ukraine. President Xi of China would never even be talking about Taiwan. We had that conversation strongly. I stopped North Korea from doing some really bad things, and my relationship with Kim Jong-un is very good. Who knows what's going to happen there? Iran was going to make a great deal. They were going to be happy. I was going to be happy. We're going to have a great relationship. Now they're out of control. They're totally out of control. This world is blowing up around us. It's blowing up around us. You may even lose the dollar as the standard throughout the world. And if you lose the dollar standard, that's like losing a war. In many ways, it's worse than losing a war. I think we have a very good chance. I think when people feel it in their pocketbooks. Everyone's saying, Trump's going to turn the economy around. I did it twice, if you think about it, because I did it after COVID. But we had the greatest economy in the history of the world, and I'll be able to do that again quickly.
Nobody made President Trump say any of that. In fact is, in that clip, which is only a few months old, virtually everything he talked about has aged very poorly, has aged very bad. He talked about he knows Zelensky and Putin very well. Well, once he became president, he's had nothing but resistance and backlash from both Zelensky and Vladimir Putin. You've seen him in the White House telling Zelensky, you don't have the cards, complaining about how the man was dressed and suggesting that Zelensky was flirting with World War III. And in recent times, he's been telling Vladimir Putin to stop bombing the Ukraine. So the idea that he knows both of these men very well, that comment did not age well at all. Also, even in regards to this video, he talked about the economy and how he could turn it around quickly. He talked about the US dollar being the standard. All of that stuff is in jeopardy right now. Nothing is being done quick like he suggested in this video. Is it wrong, I'm going to ask again, to hold a politician accountable for what they're actually telling the people they can do? He's on video saying this. And then he also brought up how Iran was going to make a great deal with him. Recently, he's threatened to bomb Iran because they weren't coming to sit at the table to make a deal with him. So this video aged horribly bad, but nevertheless, Bill O'Reilly is hammering James Carville for calling this out. And as I stated earlier, nobody made President Trump nobody forced him to make any of those promises that have aged poorly. Nevertheless, James Carville ends by saying this.
It's working here. Nothing.
So what would you do? What would you do?
Well, first thing, I would have never started a trade war.
Okay, so you're okay with $1 trillion going out when it comes in?
A prosperous nation is always going to buy more from an unprosperous nation. We're always going to buy more T-shirts.
Right, so you're happy
let me finish, man.
No, go ahead.
I'm just giving you the rule of trade. We're going to always buy more T-shirts from Sri Lanka than Sri Lanka's going to buy
$1 trillion
aircraft from us. And the fact that you do have a trade deficit is an indication that you have a prosperous country and you buying things that come over
Okay,
here.
so you're fine with it. You're fine with the $1 trillion, and Biden was fine with it.
I'm not.
Because he didn't do anything.
Well, first of all, I am not fine with starting a trade war.
Okay.
That is
Fine with it.
an utter disaster.
Big Gulf.
You know, when my guy was president, you know, I always tell people, what made y'all worse? The peace or the prosperity? There is not a single economic indicator where Democratic presidents do not massively overperform Republican presidents. You look me up, you check me out on every possible thing from GDP growth to job growth to stock market growth to anything you can think of, including deficits.
Does that include Joe Biden?
That Democratic presidents should take any time frame you want. I have no idea why anyone that cares anything about the economy would ever vote for a Republican for president.
So what do you think? You think James Carville is full of it in suggesting that any voter that is concerned with the economy has no business ever voting Republican? Do you think he got that right, or do you think Trump will indeed measure up to what he promised in regards to turning the economy around quickly, as he stated? Let me know in the comments. As always, feel free to smash that like button. Click the notification bell so you know when the videos are coming. And of course, subscribe to the damn channel. See you in the next video.